The undefeated Miami Dolphins visited Yankee Stadium in the 13th week of the season. And despite the fact that they were out of contention, the Giants never let down.
A relaxed Alex Webster and his Giants were determined to break the Miami streak. Shula's team was bucking the law of averages, and a hostile crowd of 63,000 who would have enjoyed nothing more than to witness a Dolphin defeat in the big town.
Dolphins coming in with the highest scoring team in the NFL and the team that permits the fewest points. Whistle, Garrow Squibber bounces down inside the 20. It'll be picked up by Orduña at the 15. Out across the 20. Finds a hole, 30, 35. Across the 40 and is right down at the 50-yard line. A tackle by Larry Ball. And they had the blocking wedge right up in front there, and that's with a short squib kick. And they come out of it with excellent field position. Up at the 50-yard line. A return of some 35 yards by Orduña. The Giants are, as we gave them to you. Don Herman is a wide receiver left. They set a full house backfield, and now we get a power eye left. Norm Snead, the quarterback. Here is the handoff. Going inside is Herman. A big hole down inside the Dolphins 40 over the right side. He's not knocked down until he gets to the 39-yard line. The free safety, Jake Scott, is the man who brought him down. That is good for a first down for New York inside the Dolphins 40 at the 39. And these guys aren't playing like they're out of any NFC at large berth. They're playing like they came to play.
And I'll tell you, Rick, Van Horn and Tafani may make me bite my tongue. They rear blocking out there.
All right, they set the power eye left, and Houston is lining up as a slot man left now as Herman is split left. The running backs are Johnson and big Vince Clement. Snead with the first down at the Dolphins 39. Here's a handoff to Ron Johnson. Powers in over the right guard and gets down to about the 35-yard line before he's stacked up by white jerseys, Manny Fernandez. The first man to make contact, along with the middle linebacker, Nick Bonaconte. They mark the ball at the Dolphins 35, a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6 for the Giants.
I think, Rick, that offensive line has got the attention of our no-name defense. They're ready to play football now.
They ran that kickoff back some 35 yards. It was a short kick, and then the first place in scrimmage, they rambled for 11 yards. Herman splits left to the near side comes Houston. Clement and Ron Johnson are the split backs. On 2nd and 6, Snead drops back to throw. He sets up. He has time. He fires deep. It is knocked down and almost intercepted. It was intended for Tucker down at about the 10-yard line, the tight end, who can get deep. And Dick Anderson made a great play in breaking it up and almost intercepted the football. A slant, a post pattern, a deep slant over the middle, intended for the tight end, Bob Tucker, who is the principal recipient of passes this year. And Anderson knocked it down. 3rd down and 6. Giants football at the Dolphins' 35-yard line. We've just started the ball game. There is no score. And out of the huddle they come. Herman splits left, and Rich Houston comes to the near side. They set in the eye. Johnson and Clement. Now they split off. Norman Snead is the quarterback. Flat man right. Here is Snead on 3rd and 6, dropping the throw. He fires in the middle. It is caught. And they're going to... Did he get in? No. He was dropped short at the 1-yard line. The recipient of the pass was Herman. And he was tipped up by Jake Scott at about the 1-yard line. 34 yards on the pass completion to Don Herman. The wide receiver breaking off from the far side, and the Giants have the football at the 1-yard line. And he almost got into the end zone. So Snead throwing a strike to Herman, and the Giants are knocking on the door. Out of the huddle they come. Clements and Johnson remain the backfield. Now they split off. First and goal from the Dolphins' 1-yard line. Snead sets his ball club on the snap. Hands to Johnson. He busts through the right side, and they've got a touchdown. Ryan Johnson from 1 yard out, and that is his 8th touchdown on the ground this season. And so the Giants strike quickly with 12:23 left to go in this first quarter. Henry?
The rain has started falling here in Yankee Stadium, Rick.
Rick, I'll tell you, that was those ball feet with they did there on that right side. Split Den Herder and Fernandez. Really great blocking.
Pete Gogolak will try the point from placement, and Tom Blanchard, the punter, will hold. Here's the snap. Set down. The kick is blocked. It is no good. It was blocked. And we did not see who blocked it because the snap may have been low. He never got the trajectory of the football up. And so it's a 6-0 ball game. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with the score, the Giants 6 and our Dolphins nothing. Rick Weaver from Yankee Stadium. Gogolak kicking off. He gets it high and deep. Morris back in the end zone, drops the ball and downs it. So the Dolphins will start from there following the touchback from the 20-yard line. That drive by the Giants, 50 yards, 5 plays, consumed 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Johnson scoring his 8th touchdown on the ground with a 1-yard run. A try for point was blocked, and we're still checking to see who got it. So the Dolphins setting Miami offensively for you. Earl Morrall, the quarterback, Pulley and Warfield, the wide receivers, Marv Fleming, the tight end, and Morris and Zonka will be the running back. We'll give you the rest up in just a moment. First down, Miami from the 20-yard line. Here's the handoff, and going inside is Zonka over the right side. And he gets out to about the 24-yard line before he is sacked up. The tackles are Wayne Moore and Norm Evans. Bob Kuchenberg and Larry Little are the guards. Jim Langer is the center. And for New York, the front four, Henry Reed, Larry Jacobson, John Mendenhall, and Jack Gregory. Watch Gregory, he's number 81. Kick comes in, Morris is out. Warfield splits near side. And to the far side is Twilley. From the 24, second down and 6. On the snap. As Morrall play fake, fires the middle. Warfield has got it. He's knocked down until he gets across the 45 at the Dolphins' 46-yard line. The deep slant over the middle as Morrall fires up his ball club with a first down pitch to Paul Warfield. A 22-yard completion out to the Dolphins' 46. Tackle made by Willie Williams, the right cornerback. The linebackers left to right, Jim Files, Ron Hornsby, and Pat Hughes. The corners are Pete Athos, a Miami boy, number 45, and Willie Williams, 41. The safeties are Carl Lockhart, 43, and Richmond Flowers, 44. Dolphins football from our 46, the Giants leading 6-0. Here is a handoff. Burke, a big hole across the 50, down to the 45, down to the 40-yard line in New York territory, and a gaping hole across the left side. Morris rambles for 14 yards, and the Dolphins pick up another first down as this offense of the Miami football team is fired up after the defense coughed up a touchdown to open the ball game.
And that offensive line, Rick, that's the kind of blocking we've been seeing all year long. Really making good holds for Merck.
All right, Merck and Zonk are the split backs. Warfield splits to the near side, fully off to the far side from the Giant 40. First down, Miami. Waiting for the snap. Morrall hands off. Zonka rams the middle behind, wedge blocking, and gets about 5. Down to about the 35-yard line. Larry Jacobson, the big rookie, number 75 from Nebraska, makes the tackle on the play. Henry Reed wears number 80, Jacobson 75, Mendenhall 64, Gregory 81, the middle linebacker Hornsby 67, Files 58, Hughes 56. The Dolphins, as they put the ball down at the 36-yard line, now have a second down and 6 with 10 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first period. The Giants out in front, 6-0. Zonka and Morris to split back. Warfield splits to the near side. Second down and 6. Morrall barks the signals, hands off. Zonka rams over the right side, and he doesn't get very far. He may have gotten to the 35, and inside the 35 to the 34 is where they mark it. Leading the charge was left side linebacker Jim Files, who is a 3-year man from Oklahoma, a big guy at 6'4", 240.
Rick, we're seeing that defensive line shift over to the strength of the Dolphins, and I think after Miami bench has a little while to look at what they're doing on defense, we'll probably see a lot more plays coming back to the weak side.
The ball at the Giants 34. Mandich has come in, and Kick has come in, as Fleming and Morris are out. Third down and 4, Dolphins from the Giants 34. Morrall dropping to throw. He fires out. It is caught by Kick. He's got the first down inside the 30, and he's knocked off his feet at the New York 26-yard line. A slant out to Kick out of the backfield, and Pete Athos, the left cornerback, makes the stop on the play. As Morrall, Henry.
That was really funny. Athos, who's friendly with most of the Dolphins, works out with them, got up, and I can hear it over here on the sidelines. He says, "Way to catch, Jim."
The ball down at the New York 26-yard line. First down, Dolphins. Giants leading 6-0. 8:43 to go in the first quarter. Giants, Dolphins rather moving from our right to our left toward the east end zone. Warfield is split to the near side. Morrall up under center. Waits for the snap. Here it is. Hands to Morris. Sweeps to the left. Cuts back to his right and falls down as he was making his cut. Gets down inside the 25. He hit a slippery spot out there and gets to the 22-yard line. Larry Jacobson, left side defensive tackle, is the man who contained him. And the Giants show that they meant business, running the opening kickoff back some 35 yards and then taking 5 plays, 50 yards to get into the end zone. The big play was a 34-yard pass completion from Snead to Don Herman, and then Ron Johnson carried it over from 1 yard out. Dolphins have a second down and 6 at the New York 22-yard line. Philly splits right, Warfield on the near side. Zonka and Morris, the split backs, and behind Earl Morrill. From the New York 22, waiting for the snap. Long count. Here's the handoff to Mercury, and he's going to go no place. Trying to go over the right side. They were waiting for him, and Jack Gregory, number 81, the 6-year man from Delta State, who will play on this Rover defense, either a lineman or a linebacker, made the stop. It's a loss of a yard at the New York 23.
I'm sure Earl wishes that he had checked off that play, Rick. They were really defensed up there for the run. They had a 5-man line up in front with 2 linebackers right in there from end to end, and boy, that's awful hard to run on that defense.
Third down and 7 at the New York 23. Big play coming up. His kick has come in. Mandich has come in. Butch and Sundance, the split back. And behind Morrill, third down and 7. Earl dropping the throw. He sets up, fires in the middle. It is caught by Mandich inside the 15. He's got a first down at the 12-yard line. Right over the New York zone, and they are playing mostly a zone defense. They will go to man for man only about 15% of the time. Jim Files made the tackle on the play. And they put the ball down at the 12. So Morrill goes to the pass and gets the first down.
And Rick, I've got to say that was a checkoff. Earl checked that ball off and threw that short one to Mandich.
Morrill is 3 for 3 for 43 yards in the passing department now, unofficially. Dolphins with a first down. That's the Giants' 12-yard line. Morris is back in there with Zonka as a running back. Morrill at quarterback, hands to Merck. The sweep to the near side, gets the corner turn. He's at the 5. He's got a touchdown. Mercury Morris from 12 yards out. The sweep to the near side. And the Merck behind good blocking up front and behind Larry Zonka runs it in for 12 yards. And it's a tie ball game, 6-6. That for Morris is his 12th touchdown, and that sets a new Dolphin club record. Breaks the old one held by Paul Warfield. And Yepremian is in to try the point from placement, and Morrill will hold. If he makes it, why, the Dolphins will go out in front since the Giants have theirs blocked. Waiting for the snap now. Here it is, set down, the kick is up. And he drills it up there. We haven't received any signification from the officials. There's a flag down over on the far side of the field. Offsides against the Giants. The kick is good, and Miami takes the lead 7-6. With 6:25 to go in the first period, Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with the score. Our Dolphins 7, the Giants 6. On the kickoff, Thompson. Up with the run from the 2. He's across the 25. Hit, fumbles the ball, and the Dolphins recover at the Giants' 28-yard line. Just as we came back, Yepremian kicked the football off. Rocky Thompson grabbed it at the 2. He was hit, fumbled the ball, and the Dolphins come up with it at the Giants' 28. Charlie Lee is the man who fell on it. A big fumble recovery, and the Dolphins, who have just scored on an 80-yard drive in 10 plays, consuming 5 minutes and 52 seconds, and leading 7-6, have the football right back again on Rocky Thompson's fumble, a 26-yard return. He was really pounced upon, and Charlie Lee comes up with it. Here is the handoff to Morris, trying to elude tacklers, puts his head down and rams the right side, and gets about a yard to the 27.
Rick, Morrill's trying to loosen up that defense. With that 5-2 that we've been seeing here this afternoon, it really makes it rough to run up in that middle. He ran Merck around the end and scored on it and had managed with that short over-the-middle pass. This is what he's got to do. Loosen up that defense so you can get around. You can't really go through the middle too well.
Second down and 9. Miami's football at the Giants' 27. We have 5:29 to go in the first quarter. The Dolphins lead 7-6. Morris has rushed 5 times unofficially for 29 yards and scored a touchdown. Philly splits right. Warfield on the near side. Morrill drops back to throw. Fires. It is thrown behind. Philly incomplete. He never had a chance in the world. He was slanting off the far side into the middle. And the ball was thrown behind him at the 15-yard line. So it'll bring up third down and 9. Morris goes out, and Jim Chick comes in. And Jim Mandich is also in as Fleming is out, and the Dolphin offensive alignment. Third down conversions thus far. The Dolphins have converted 2 out of 2. We have 5 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Miami with a third down and 9 from the Giants' 27. Dolphins lead 7-6. Morrill dropping deep this time. The throw has good protection. Now he's going to have to run out of the pocket, and he's thrown for a big loss. Back at the 36-yard line. Those blockers can only hold for so long, and Henry Reed, the second-year man from Weber State, number 80, was the first man to get him, and Jacobson was also in. So Garrow is in to try what will be about a 43-yard field goal.
Excellent coverage on the secondary, Rick. But then on top of that, Jack Gregory really came in and harassed Earl. Though he didn't get to Earl, he caused Earl to step up into that pocket right into the hands of Reed.
All right, that's the 19th time the Dolphins passer has been dropped this year. Garrow on the season is 18 for 30 in the field goal department with 90 points going into today. This will be about a 43-yard attempt from straight out. Morrow to hold. Stunning going on, and somebody jumped offside for the Giants. Looks like they were going to try a blitz on the block attempt, and so they are penalized 5 yards. It was cornerback Pete Athos who was jumping around, but he didn't get back in time, and so illegal procedure on the defense is called, and Garrow now will try a 38-yarder as the ball is put down at the Giants' 31. Morrow will hold. This is an extremely poor part of the field out there. A little bit treacherous snap, set down. The kick is up. He's got the distance. It is perfect. Garrow Yepremian from 38 yards with 4:46 to go in this first quarter. The Dolphins now lead 10-6. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with a score. Our Dolphins 10, the Giants 6. Rick Weaver back at Yankee Stadium. Yepremian preparing to kick off to Rocky Thompson, 22, and Joe Orduña, 49. Another squibber bounces at Orduña's feet, picks it up to 7, starts for the middle at the 10, the 15 to the near side. He is not going to get around Larry Ball, who puts the clamp on him right at the 19. A return of some 12 yards. That Dolphin drive, after Charlie Lee recovered Thompson's fumble on the last kickoff, lost 2 yards. 4 plays, a -2. Yepremian kicking a 38-yard field goal. All right, for the Giants, they'll have Herman and Rich Houston as the wide receivers, Tucker the tight end, Snead will be the quarterback, and Clements and Johnson the running back. The ball at the New York 19-yard line. Miami leads 10-6. Dolphins coming in with the highest scoring team in the NFL and the team that permits the fewest points in the NFL. Here comes Houston in motion off to the far side of the field. Snead on the snap. Drops deep to throw, swings a screen. It is caught by Clements at the 15 to the 20, the 25 to the 30, and he has belted at the 35-yard line. Vince Clements, the big rookie running back, number 29, was the recipient of the screen as the Dolphins were rushing, and Snead just dumped it off. Tackled by Foley and Anderson. They picked up some 16 yards on the pass completion and the ensuing run. A first down for New York at their 35.
Rick, that offensive line of the Giants gets more and more respect. Actually, that was beautiful blocking for screenplay. They faked it completely as if they were going to actually try to keep the people out, and they had overpowered them.
All right, Snead brings his ball club out, and he's got Herman split to the far side, Houston to the near side. Little mix up in the backfield now. Johnson had set as a slot man. Now he comes back as a split back with Clements. Here's the handoff, counter to Clements. He tries to bang on the slant across the left side and gets about a yard to the 36-yard line. Nick Bonaconte makes the tackle. Let's pause here for station identification on the Miami Dolphins Football Network.
William Lehman now offers you the rotary engine Mazda. William Lehman Mazda, 6310 South Dixie Highway, South Miami.
WIOD Miami.
We're back at Yankee Stadium. 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dolphins lead 10-6. The Giants have a 2nd and 9 from their 36. Norman Snead, the quarterback, splits Don Herman to the far side. Rich Houston to the near side. Here's the handoff. Ron Johnson, trap in the middle, and waiting for him was Bonaconte, who tripped him up after just a gain of 2 yards at the 38-yard line. Ron Johnson, the ball carrier, coming in. Johnson with 1,066 yards on the season. A rushing average of right around 4 yards. Johnson has carried today 3 times for 7 yards.
Rick, I had a chance to talk to Nick on the way up on the plane, and Nick says he's really looking forward to be there in front of Ron Johnson this afternoon.
3rd down and 7. Giants football from their 38-yard line. Houston splits near side. Herman to the far side. Snead back to throw. Gets a pretty good rush. Dumps it off. It is caught by Johnson at 45. The far sideline. He is ridden out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That was a hook out of the backfield to Johnson, and Johnson caught the ball and gets the first down before he's knocked off his feet by cornerback Curtis Johnson. And out of bounds on the far side. They put it down at the Dolphins' 49-yard line.
Rick Johnson was the secondary receiver on that. Actually, that play was planned to go to Clements right over the middle, but with Nick Bonaconte coming in on a blitz on that, he knocked Clements right off his feet. And that way, he was no way could he be a receiver.
All right, the Giants have that full house backfield, actually a power eye now, and Houston splits off as a slot man left. Over there with Herman. First down for the Dolphins, 49. Here's a handoff to Johnson. Pounds the middle, breaks off a tackle, and is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage. Manny Fernandez got him by the leg and refused to let go along with Nick Bonicatti, and they bring him down for no gain. It'll be a second down and 10 at the Miami 49-yard line. We have a minute and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Giants scored first 50-yard drive, 5 plays after a good kickoff return. Johnson 1 yard out. The Dolphins an 80-yard drive, 10 plays. Mercury Morris a 12-yard sweep. And then Charlie Lee recovered a Rocky Thompson kickoff return. Recovered the fumble. Dolphins lost 2 yards on the drive, but Yepremian kicked a 38-yard field goal, and Miami leads by a score of 10-6. Second and 10, New York from the Miami 49. Play fake, running out to his right, Denherter on him. He gets the pass away and caught by Tucker. He is bouncing off tacklers inside the 20, dragging people with him, and he's not knocked down until he gets to the 15-yard line. Jim Foley. A great play by Snead as Denherter put the rush on him. He didn't get to him quite in time. They were looking for the play fake. He got the pass away. Tucker made a great catch and wrestled off tacklers, bouncing off people, and Foley finally brought him down at the Miami 15-yard line. So the Dolphins defense has their backs up against the wall once again. That pass completion of 34 yards to Tucker, and Snead now 4 for 5 unofficially with 99 yards through the air. There's the gun. That's the end of the first quarter. Dolphins action continues from Yankee Stadium with a score. Our Dolphins 10 and the Giants 6. Herman has a wide man right, and Houston is actually in the backfield. Looks like the old single wing formation. Now they shift to a power I right with Houston as the wide man. Here is Snead, the handoff going to Clements inside, digging, driving, bucking his way inside the 10. Fumble, the Dolphins have got it. Wait a minute. Yes, the Dolphins have it at the 8-yard line. Doug Swift fell on it. Dick Anderson also, and I believe Anderson will get the fumble recovery. And that for Dick is his 7th fumble recovery. Swift is the man who hit him, and Anderson comes up with it. So the Giants turn it over. That's their second turnover. And that drive is thwarted as Clements was searched as he went through the line of scrimmage, and Anderson comes up with the ball. The Dolphins have it now at the Miami 8-yard line. Morris and Zonka are the split backs. And then Warfield set as a wingman off to the far side. Dick Anderson just coming up with a fumble recovery. Morrow up under center. On the snap, hands to Zonka, busts over the right side, out across the 10 to get about the 13-yard line. Gain of 5. Henry Reed makes the tackle. Henry?
Rick, the rain is really coming down here now, and that may be a portion of things to come as far as fumbles are concerned. It's coming down very, very heavily, and they're in a muddy part of the field.
Doug Swift does get the fumble recovery. Anderson was right there also, but they're going to give it to Swift.
That was an example of trying to get to the weak side. Zonka ran that ball to the weak side. All the strength was over to the left.
Second down and 6. Miami's football at the Dolphins' 13-yard line. In the eye, Zonka and Morris. Warfield split off the far side. Here's the handoff on a trap to Larry, and his blocking is jammed up in front of him as he bangs the middle and gets to about the 15, just a gain of about 2 on the play. So that'll bring up a third down. Tackle made by the right side linebacker, Pat Hughes, 3-year man from Boston University. And Jim Kick comes into the lineup, replacing Mercury Morris. The Dolphins' offensive backfield. Third down and 3, Miami's football at the Dolphins' 15-yard line. The Dolphins have converted third down situations thus far. They have not had to kick, and remember, Billy Lothridge has been moved. And Dick Anderson is slated to handle the punting chores if and when they occur this afternoon. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. On third down, on a delay, here's Kick over the left side, big hole, 20 out to the 25, and he's got the first down at the 27-yard line. Good block over there. As Kick rambles out across the 25 to the 27, and Carl Lockhart having to come up to make the tackle. And again, the Dolphins convert that third down and move the ball out with a first down at our 27-yard line.
Rick, that good block you're talking about was thrown by nobody else but that probably the best guard in the league, Larry Little.
All right, Warfield out of the huddle, switch to the far side. They've thrown to Paul once this afternoon for a reception. Foley has also been thrown to once, but he did not hang on to the ball. It was a bad pass. Here's the delay, the drop, the middle, Kick running like a man possessed across the 40. He's across the 45, dragging tacklers with him inside the 50 down to the New York 46-yard line. Holy Toledo, did he have a hole that time, and he was just digging and driving and bucking and carrying people with him. And they're going to put it down at the 48-yard line in Giants territory. Jim Kick, running like he has not run all season, picks up 28 yards, and a Miami first down at the Giants 48.
Ricky must have carried Pete Addis on that play for at least 10 yards. Addis jumped on his back and didn't bother Jim one iota. Just kept going. Somebody had to come in and help Addis.
Let's change the distance to 26 yards for Chick. Willie splits near side. Morris is back in there. He's an eye back with Zonka from the New York 48-yard line. Morrill pitches to Morris. Sweep to the right behind Zonka. Cuts back to his left. He's across the 40. Still going and not wrapped out of bounds until he gets to about the 35. Mercury Morris with a good block from Larry Zonka out in front. And Norm Evans also helped out on the play, along with the guards, and they put it down at the 36-yard line. That's good for a first down, a gain of 12. On the play for Morris, Mercury coming in needed 193 yards. In the remaining 2 games for 1,000 yards, and unofficially he has picked up 41 in 6 carries, including a 12-yard touchdown. 11:39 left to go in this first half. Dolphins lead 10-6. Morrill off that fumble recovery, trying to take this ball club in again. What a job he's done this year. From the Giants 36. Here's a cross buck handing to Zonka. They were waiting for it, and he might have lost a yard. The counter coming back to the near side, and he's tripped up at the 37-yard line. Tackle on the play by Holmes, the linebacker, and Henry Reed, the defensive end. They put it down at the 37. It's a loss of a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 11 for the Dolphins from the New York 37-yard line. 11 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the first half. Airtime for the season finale, the regular season final game from the Orange Bowl next Saturday on WIOD and these network stations will be at 12:50 against the Baltimore Colts. Marv Fleming now, the tight end, splits off a couple of yards to the near side. On second down and 11. Here is the pitch. Morris sweeps to the left. He is going to be dragged down for another loss. He tried to make his cut back to the right and perhaps lost his footing, but a great play by the middle linebacker, Ron Hornsby, number 67, a 2-year man from southeast Louisiana. And he did wind up losing a couple of yards. We'll see where they're going to put it down. Down at the 38-yard line. So he lost a yard. That'll bring up a third down and 12 situation as this New York defense stiffening up. Miami is 3 for 4 in third down conversions. And here's another one with third down and 12. At the Giants 38, they've got to get to the 26 for a first down. Kick is in along with Zonka as the split back. Warfield split left, fully to the near side. Morrill drops to throw. He sets, he is firing. It is incomplete. Down inside the 20, intended for Twilly, right up the 20-yard line. The ball was thrown a little bit high, and Howard had to leap in the air and couldn't hold on to it. So we get the field goal unit in, and Garrow will get a chance to try and make it 2 for 2. This will be an approximate 45-yard attempt. And he's down looking at the ground. It's very, very muddy out there. Of course, he's got to have an area where he can firmly plant that foot when he comes up to get the other one into the ball. This will be a 45-yard field goal attempt. Yepremian has one of 38 yards earlier in the ball game. 10:09 left to play in the first half. Dolphins lead 10-6. Waiting for the snap. Here it is, set down. The kick is up. It is going to be short and off to the kicker's left side and rolls out of the end zone for the touchback. And so the Giants will get the ball at their 20-yard line and start from there. Garrow misses from 45 yards, so he's 1 for 2, and the Dolphins' lead remains at just 4 points, 10-6, against this tenacious New York team. Clements and Johnson are the running backs. Sneed, the quarterback. Herman and Houston, the wide receivers, and Tucker, the tight end. Other scores: Chicago in the second quarter leads Philadelphia 7-0. We'll keep you posted on other games. We've got some timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with the score: the Dolphins 10, the Giants 6. Ready to go to work is Sneed on the first play from scrimmage. Hands off to Ron Johnson. Bangs into the middle. And he is still digging. Gets about 3 yards, perhaps 4, out to the 23 or 4-yard line. Vern Denherter, along with Curtis Johnson, makes the tackle for Miami. The Giants have had the football on 13 offensive plays, including the one just run in the first half. Miami 20. The Dolphins have achieved 8 first downs to the Giants 6. Second down and 6 coming up for New York. The ball at their 24-yard line. They send Herman wide to the near side. And now they have the power I formation left with Houston as the singular man on behind the backs. Here's the handoff going to Johnson. He runs into a stone wall trying to come over the right side. Gets about a yard. Bonacani and Fernandez backed him up. Check it, that was Vince Clements, the rookie who fumbled just a moment ago. And the Dolphins recovered down at the Miami 8-yard line. They put the ball down at the 25-yard line, and it'll be a third down coming up. And we'll call it about 5. And the rain is coming down very hard now, as Henry Barrow can probably attest down on the field. On 3rd and 5, back to throw goes Snead. He sets up, fires. It's incomplete. Intended for Johnson on his slant out of the backfield up at the 30-yard line. He couldn't hold on to it. So that'll bring in the punting unit for the first time this afternoon, Tom Blanchard. Second-year man from Oregon, who also is a quarterback. Last year he had a 40.6 average, and he's one of the top punters in the NFC this year with a 43-point average. The rain is coming down, Henry.
Rick, it's coming down good and hard down here now, and the field's getting muddier and muddier.
All right, the line of scrimmage will be the 25-yard line, and Blanchard will stand back at about the 10. Jake Scott is deep for the Dolphins on the season. Jake has an 8.9 punt return average. Dick Anderson, number 40, the shallow man. Dolphins with a 10-6 lead. Here's a high snap. Blanchard pulls it down, gets it out of there. Low trajectory, wobbly kick. Bounces at the Dolphins 35, picked up by Scott at the 30. He spins off tacklers, cannot find a hole, and it's smothered at the 34-yard line. Jake Scott with a 4-yard return as Blanchard got off a low trajectory kick following a high snap. And the Dolphins offense will start from the Miami 34. There is a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium. With the score, our Dolphins 10 and the Giants 6. Rick Weaver back at Yankee Stadium. The rain is coming down. A punt that time by Blanchard, a 4-yard return by Scott. The Dolphins start from their 34. Here is the handoff to Mercury Morris. Tries inside, cuts outside, finds the hole, and squirts through out to the 39. About a 5-yard pickup for Mercury. Larry Jacobson, the defensive left tackle, makes the stop on the play for the Giants. And here's a bit of a surprise. In the second quarter, Detroit and Buffalo, 0-0. Other big games today that could conceivably settle playoff berths or go a long way in determining who will play. Green Bay and Minnesota, Atlanta, San Francisco, L.A., St. Louis. We have no scores as yet on those games. Second down and 5. Dolphins from their 39-yard line, waiting for the snap. Morris and Zonka. Morrill spins, hands off to Merck, sweeps to the left side, gets a block, turns the corner, and slips and falls down across the 40. He got out to about the 42-yard line. He had daylight down the far sideline. He was contained by the linebacker, Jim Files, and he got a dandy block to spring him around the corner over there. That'll bring up the third down. And we'll call it about 3 yards to go for a first down.
Rick, as great a runner as Larry Zonka is, boy, you've got to really give him credit. Undoubtedly, that he's probably the best blocking back in the entire league.
All right, let's make it third down and a long three. The ball just across the Dolphins' 41. Twilley and Warfield split off to the near side. Kick is in there. Morrill sprinting out to his right. Is he going to run a throw? He fires the ball upfield. It is almost intercepted, incomplete. It was intended upfield for Warfield. He had gone down, and Spider Lockhart, the safety man, had a better chance at it than Warfield did, and he couldn't hold on to it, so it's an incomplete pass and brings up the fourth down. Punting situation. We'll get a look at Dick Anderson now, as he will have to punt for the first time. And going back as the deep men for the Giants, Bob Grimm, number 27, and Pete Athas, number 45. Grimm, former Minnesota Viking. Anderson has kicked once this year for 36.5 yards. Line of scrimmage, the Dolphins 41. He's standing back at the 26. Here's the snap. He gets it out of there and booms an end-over-end kick. It bounces, gets the Dolphin rolling down inside the 15-yard line, and is going to be spinning dead right there. As Anderson gets off a dandy 44-yard punt. So that'll help his average.
Rick, Dick may not be able to boom that ball up in the air like Larry Zapple does, but I'll tell you one thing. When it comes down, it's going to come down on one of the ends. And when it comes down on an end, you can rest assured that most of the time we'll get that Miami bounce.
Let's go down and see what Henry's doing behind the Dolphin bench besides trying to keep dry.
Aside from trying to keep dry, we're watching Mercury Morris' left hand was bruised on that last run of his. They're working on that. It shouldn't be any problem. The big problem here on the bench now that the Dolphins are discussing is changing their offensive line blocking. Monty Clark has been talking to his players, been meeting with them after each offensive series, and if he's as successful as he has been in the past, they'll work out something before this ball game is over. But it's wet down here, Rick.
Rick, I talked about Nick Bonacani really looking forward to coming out here and meeting with Johnson today. Johnson has carried the ball 5 times so far in this ball game and now has 11 yards. So I think Nick Bonacani is really doing his job on keying off on that running back. He's only caught 1 pass for 14 yards. That's the entire day.
All right, we're going to tell you about a new concept in pro football publications called Dolphins 72. It's a game-by-game picture and word recap of the 1972 season. It'll be published in February, 160 pages, full-color pictures, diagrams of the big plays, and we'll tell you how to order it in just a moment. As the Giants from their 14-yard line go to work. Houston and Herman are split to the near side. Clements and Johnson the split backs. In behind Snead, here's the handoff going to Johnson, a slant over the right side. And gets a couple out to about the 16-yard line. Ron Johnson, the ball carrier. You can order this Dolphins 72 as Bill Stansfield made the tackle. Write Dolphins 72, 330 Biscayne Boulevard, Miami 33132, and enclose a check for $5.95. For those who wish to purchase it bound as a Christmas gift, the special will be sent to you wherever you want. So, I can't read the writing here. Right to the Dolphins office at 330 Biscayne Boulevard for Dolphins 72. Here's the Johnson on the sweep to the right. He gets the corner turn, and he has belted out of bounds on the far side of the field by Dick Anderson, the Dolphins safety man. I don't know whether he got out to about the 20 or not. He was right around the 20-yard line when he was knocked out, and that's right where they're going to put it down. Actually, a little bit shy. We'll call it the 19. They're moving upfield towards us now as we set down here at the 30-yard line at the other end of the field.
Rick, is that uphill or downhill?
They're moving uphill now, Lou. That Harvard research study showed in '63 that the west end is 3 feet lower than the east end of this Yankee Stadium. 3rd down and 5. Snead dropping back to throw, getting a good rush, dumps it in the middle. Clements has got it, and he's knocked down. I don't think he got enough yardage for the first down at about the 23-yard line. Doug Swift is the man who made the tackle on the play. Perhaps he did get to the 24. And they did not make the first down. They're shy by about a yard. So the punting unit comes on, and Blanchard again will get a chance to kick the football. Wish I could read this. It's interesting. It's good handwriting, but maybe you can decipher it, Lou. Try to do them a favor, and they...
Let me read it for you, Rick. It says, for those who wish to purchase the book as a Christmas gift, a special card will be sent to your or your friend, whoever you want, letting you know they will be receiving the book as soon as it's published in February.
Very good. All right, 5:23 to go in this first half. Dolphins leading 10-6. Blanchard standing back inside the 10. Line of scrimmage at 24. Here's the snap. He gets the punt out of there, and it's high end of a run kick. Jake Scott grabs it to Dolphins 36, finds a hole, runs into a blocker. 40, cuts back to his left for 45. Holds onto the football. A 9-yard return for Jake that time. He ran into Lloyd Mumford. Well, he might have gotten a little bit farther than that. The Dolphins come out of there with pretty good field position. And so we'll begin to operate from our 45. Henry?
It was Mercury Morris's left wrist that was bruised, not his hand, so it's been padded and taped, and he won't have any trouble taking handoffs, or shouldn't have.
5 minutes to go in the first half. Dolphins on an 80-yard drive, 10 plays. Morris, a 12-yard sweep. You come in 38-yard field goal. Lead 10-6. Giants scored the first time they had the ball and settled down pretty much routine. Kick in there, squirt through a big hole across the left side, inside the 50. Down to about the Giants' 46-yard line. Jim Kick is running beautifully this afternoon, getting great blocking up front. Richmond Flowers, safety man, made the tackle. Kick has carried 3 times for 48 yards. And Morris has 9 for 48. Zonk is 6 for 15 unofficially in the ball-carrying department. The ball is at the Giants' 45, and it's a 2nd down and 1 as he scrambled for 9 yards. Warfield splits left fully to the near side. Morrill hands off to Butch. He finds another hole behind Larry Zonka over the left side. Squirts through for the first down across the 40 down to about the 35-yard line. As Jim Kick getting good blocking from Langer, Kuchenberg, and Wayne Moore off the left side, and Zonka led the backs. Williams makes the tackle.
Rick, I'll tell you, Jim Kick's an old Jersey boy, and I think he loves this kind of weather and loves to play on a muddy field like this.
Dolphins now with a first down at the New York 35-yard line. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Miami leads 10-6. Warfield splits left to the near side is Swilly. Butch and Sundance, the I-backs. Here's a handoff. A counter as the kick sprints it across the left side, gets about 2, down to the 33-yard line. Knocked off his feet by John Mendenhall, number 64. Big rookie defensive tackle from Grambling. And they're going to mark it down at the, as soon as they dry it off, they haven't put it down yet. It's about the 33-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be second down coming up, and we'll call it 8. For the Dolphins at the New York 33. Miami leads 10-6. Out of the huddle now come the Dolphins with Pulley split to the near side. Warfield a slot man right. Butch and Sundance are the splitbacks behind Morrill. From the Giants 33, Earl drops the throw, fires out for Warfield, can't hold it at the 15-yard line. Out of his slot position from the right, he was coming at about the 15 down the near side, and Morrill got the ball a little high. Warfield had to jump for it, and it's incomplete. We'll make a third down and 8 situation from the Giants 33. Fleming is out. Mandich is in at tight end. Dolphins now are 3 for 6 in the third down conversion department this afternoon. 3 minutes showing on the scoreboard clock. Left to play in the first half. Warfield's jersey completely covered with mud. He splits left, fully to the near side. Back to throw on third down is Morrow. Firing deep downfield. Warfield, great catch. He is down, and he's in for the touchdown. Delayed call by the officials to make sure that he did get in. And Morrow hit Warfield on the deep post pattern. Paul made a tremendous catch at about the 2-yard line, or the 3, and bounced into the end zone. He fell to the ground, and the official coming across, we waited for his signification because it was away from us. And so Warfield, on a 33-yard touchdown pass from Earl Morrill, scores his second TD of the season. And the Dolphins now lead by a score of 16-6. That for Morrill is his 10th touchdown pass of the year. Yepremian will try the point from placement. Morrill will hold. Here's the snap, set down, the kick is up, and it is good. Well, it's now a 17-6 ball game in favor of the Dolphins with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in this first half. And that drive, 55 yards, 5 plays, and the big play was the 34-yard touchdown pass from Morrill to Paul Warfield, and the Dolphins now have an 11-point margin.
Rick, that catch just shows why people respect Paul Warfield so in the league. Actually, Williams and Lockhart were right there on Paul as he went down for that pass, and he simply outran both of them. Just a beautiful job on Paul's part. And Earl threw that ball, couldn't have been laid out there more perfectly, right in his hands. Beautiful combination, great offensive play.
Jim Kick personally accounted for 23 yards on the ground in that drive for Miami. Yepremian tees it up, and Thompson and Orduña are the deep men to receive the kickoff now with 2:52 to go in the half. The Dolphins leading by a score of 17-6. The Giants scored first, and that made Miami mad, and the Dolphins have racked up 17 points since then. Back at about the 4-yard line, out is Thompson with it across the 20, 25, running for the sideline, across the 30, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 34, and we got a flag. Back upfield, Tim Foley is the man who ran him out. A fine return by Rocky Thompson, and there could be a penalty coming up. Holding is going to be the infraction against the Giants trying to spring Thompson loose. Holding on the offense on the kickoff return, so the penalty, let's see when they're going to put the ball down. While they're making up their minds, we'll pause for station identification on the Miami Dolphins Football Network.
Join the winning team. William Lehman has sold more Buicks than any other dealer in the South. William Lehman Buick, 163rd Street and Biscayne Boulevard in North Miami Beach.
WIOD Miami.
Rick Weaver back at Yankee Stadium. The ball is placed down at the New York 19-yard line, and they will start from there. First down and 10 with 2:42 to go in the half. The Dolphins lead 17-6. Clements and Johnson remain the split backs. In behind quarterback Norman Snead. He play fakes, swings a pass out, caught by the tight end Tucker, and he's not knocked down until he gets out across the 35-yard line up to about the 36. Jake Scott made the tackle on the play. They go a lot, as we told you before the ball game, to the tight end Bob Tucker, and he is not only a fine blocker, he has great speed and can go deep as a tight end. That is good for a New York first down. A pickup out to the 36 of some 17 yards. Snead to Tucker. The ball at the Giant 36. We're coming up to the 2-minute warning. They may or may not get this play off. Receivers are split to the left side, Houston and Herman. Here is Snead, the handoff to Johnson. Sweep to the right. Is he going to get the corner turn? He does, but he has wrestled out of bounds across the 40. And that will stop the clock and also bring up the 2-minute warning. Manny Fernandez is the man who ran him out over there. And so both benches are being told that it is the 2-minute warning. Dolphin football continues from Yankee Stadium with the score. Our Dolphins 17, the Giants 6. We're back at Yankee Stadium where it's wet here in New York City. A minute 55 left to play in the first half. The Dolphins lead 17-6. Johnson picked up 4 yards on that last carry. They have a second down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Snead has 6 for 7 unofficially with 120 yards through the air. And he has hit Tucker and Herman with long gainers this afternoon. Here is Snead on the delay handoff. Going to Clements around the left side, 45 to the 50 and into Dolphin territory. He's knocked down at the Miami 44-yard line. A tackle by Curtis Johnson. A delay on the play, and Clements picks up good yardage, and New York calls a timeout. Henry?
Jim Mandix was shaken up on that kickoff a few plays ago. Came out, they worked on him. He'll be okay and be able to play whenever they need him.
All right, the Giants have called a timeout. Snead comes over to the near sideline here, right down below us, talks things over with Alex Webster as Clements, at time on the delay, boomed over the left side and picks up a first down at the Miami 44-yard line.
Rick, that Clements is really impressive runner for a rookie. I'll tell you, he saw that the hole was plugged up there over the guards, and he went to the outside and made himself some darn good yardage on it.
A minute and 42 seconds left to play in this first half. Miami, after the Giants took the opening kickoff, got excellent field position. Giants moved 50 yards, 5 plays. Johnson a 1-yard plunge for the score. Dolphins coming back, an 80-yard drive, 10 plays. Morris a 12-yard sweep. The Giants extra point try, incidentally, was blocked. Then Yepremi in a 38-yard field goal, and Earl Morrell in this second period has hit Paul Warfield with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The Dolphins lead 17-6. First down from the Miami 44. Back to throw. Snead dumps one in the middle. It is caught by Clements. He is knocked down inside the 40 at about the 37-yard line. Doug Swift makes the tackle on the play. Dolphins had the rush on that time. Vince Clements, the big rookie running back, number 29, the receiver. And they're lining up their 2-minute offensive drill with no huddle. A minute 22 as the clock is moving. Ball is at the Dolphins 37 on second down, and he throws the ball out of bounds. He does to stop the clock. And that'll bring up a third down in about 3 situation from the Miami 37. Clock is stopped now with a minute and 17 seconds left to play in the first half. Airtime next Saturday. Mark that date. It's a Saturday game. The final game of the season. The regular season against the Baltimore Colts. The Dolphins finish at home. They can win this one. They'll have a shot at 14 in a row. Finishing the year unbeaten. The regular season against the Colts. Airtime on WIOD and these network stations will be at 12:50 next Saturday, December the 16th. Third down and 3 for the Giants, the Dolphins 37-yard line. The scoreboard has it 2nd and 3. Here's the handoff. Johnson staggers through the middle, bounces his way inside the 35 and gets the first down to the 32-yard line. The tackle made by Jake Scott. And New York calls a timeout to stop the clock with a minute 8 seconds to go. They're definitely within field goal range, and that's good enough for a first down at the Miami 32-yard line.
Miami's in their 53 defense right here, Rick, and it's going to be interesting to see how Bob Matheson plays it, whether or not he really comes and drops back.
We have a minute and 8 seconds to go in the first half, and of course, those of you who have never been in Yankee Stadium, the fans are pretty well protected by the overhanging facade. Giants just using up their another timeout. They have a minute and 8 seconds on the board before the halftime expires. They have a first down at the Miami 32-yard line with the Dolphins leading by a score of 17-6. Let's see what Webster and Snead conferred on as Norman brings his ball club out. Don Herman splits off the near side. The split backs are Clements and Johnson, slot man right. Here is Snead dropping to throw. Here comes the rush. He fires the pass. It is caught and out of bounds at the Dolphins 8-yard line is Rich Houston, number 84. It was run out over there by Dick Anderson. Matheson almost got the Snead in time, but not quite, and he got the pass away. And that, of course, sets up a first and goal situation for New York down at the Miami 8-yard line. Matheson goes out. Bob Hines comes back in as a defensive tackle. As they pick up some 29 yards on the pass completion from Snead to Rich Houston. Now Snead brings his ball club out. First and goal from the Dolphins 8. Herman splits left. Houston slot man left. Clements and Johnson, the split-backs, in behind Norman Snead. 1 minute and 2 seconds to go in the half. Here is Snead. The handoff to Johnson. Sweep to the right. He gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe to the 7. Sliding in over the right side, and that's all. Monicani led the defensive charge. Jake Scott also in on the tackle. And now New York uses up their final timeout of this first half to stop the clock with 54 seconds left to go in the half. And Snead comes over to converse with the coaching staff and Alex Webster. The ball is at the 8-yard line, so he got no yardage on the play. Nick Monicani going over to talk to Don Shula and the Dolphins coaching staff on the far side while time is out. It'll be second down and goal for the Giants from the Dolphin 8-yard line. Snead unofficially is 8 for 10 in the forward passing department, 151 yards. Herman has caught 1 for 34, Tucker 2 for 52, Johnson 2 for 38, Clements 3 for 27. Johnson has carried the ball 10 times, 25 yards, which is way below his game average going in, about 4 yards per carry, and he's averaging about 2.5 yards. He has a touchdown. And Snead comes back from the near sideline. Monicani comes back from the far sideline. We're ready to go to work here with 54 seconds to go in this first half. The Dolphins leading 17-6. The Giants have a second down and goal situation from the Miami 8-yard line. This drive started back on their 19. All right. They split their receivers. Houston to the far side, Herman to the near side. Here's play action. Pass in the middle, knocked away. In the end zone. Fine defensive play. It was intended for Tucker, the tight end. Dick Anderson diving for the ball just inside the goal line. Deflected it out of Tucker's reach. As Snead from the play action faked the handoff to the back going into the line and then ripped one in the middle. It's a simple slant-in pattern. Intended for Tucker. Anderson deflected it away. The Dolphins send in Bob Matheson and Hines goes out. It'll be a third down and goal from the Miami 8-yard line. The incompletion stops the clock with 50 seconds left to play in the half. Miami leading 17-6. The Giants trying to get in for 6 points here before the end of the half, and this is the big play. Snead breaks them out of it. Herman splits far side. Houston to the near side. Clements and Johnson are the split backs. Third and goal from the Miami 8-yard line. Snead sets his ball club, waiting for the snap from center. And they're not going to get it off. Apparently, they took too long in getting the play underway. And New York will be assessed a 5-yard penalty for delay of the game. That's what it is, as referee Fred Silver gives us the sign. Delay of the game. They have 30 seconds to put the ball in play in the NFL, and they watch this very closely. So that puts the ball down at the Dolphins' 13-yard line. It'll be third and goal from the 13. Clock had not started. It still shows 50 seconds left to play in the first half. Snead brings him out. Herman splits to the far side. Houston to the near side. And Johnson and Clements set in an I formation behind Norman Snead. He drops back to throw. Gets a pretty good rush. Firing in the end zone. Incomplete. Flag down. Interference is going to be called on Miami. The intended receiver, Bob Tucker, he was tripped up at the goal line. Dick Anderson, I believe, is the man on whom it's going to be called. And so that sets up a first down at the Miami 1-yard line. Interference call on the Dolphins. And New York, with 46 seconds to go in the half, has a first and goal at the Dolphins 1.
I'm sure Dick Anderson is kicking himself on that play, Rick, because on that one there was no way that receiver could catch that ball. It would have been way over his head.
It was overthrown. 46 seconds, first and goal. Houston splits right. Clements and Johnson remain the split backs behind Snead. He sets everybody else in tight. On first and goal from the Dolphins 1. He hands to Johnson over the right side. He spins, he's hit, and he didn't make it. He stopped shy of the goal line. Ron Johnson, the ball carrier. The tackle on the play made by Dick Anderson. And they line up without a huddle. They don't have any timeouts left. The ball inside the 1. A second and goal. Here's the handoff to Johnson over the right side. He's in for the touchdown. Johnson on the second try. They didn't have any timeouts left, but they had to line up in a hurry from just inside the one. Johnson scores his second TD of the ball game, and that gives him a total of 9 on the year. Gogolak, who had his first try for point blocked, will try this one with Blanchard, number 15, holding. There's just 26 seconds left to play in the half. It's now a 17-12 ball game. Here is the kick. And this one, he gets through the upright. So with 26 seconds left to go in the half, the Giants are right back in it, trailing by just 4 points. It's 17-13. That drive consumed 2 minutes and 14 seconds, 81-yard drive in 12 plays. And Johnson gets the CD. One of the big plays was the pass interference call on the Dolphins, which gave New York the first and goal from the 1-yard line. So the Dolphins will try to get a run back here, and perhaps at least get into field position, if nothing else, to get Garrow in there for a field goal attempt before the end of the half. 17-13, a close ball game. Giants could have been a little flat coming in, knowing that they were not going to be in the playoffs, but the Dolphins are expecting a short kick, as they have Mercury Morris back as the single deep man. And let's see if indeed he does kick it short. Here's a swimmer down the near side. Rolls through the blocking wall. Morris waits for it, picks it up to 13, 15 to the 20, 25 to the 30. Still going, and is knocked down at the 32-yard line. Now the Dolphins have all of their timeouts left, and the clock is stopped with 22 seconds left to go in the first half. Morris returns about 19 yards. So Miami will start from the 32-yard line, and Miami's going to take a timeout right here. Starting from the Dolphins' 32, and they cover up that football with the towel out there. There are 22 seconds left to go in this first half. Dolphins with a 17-13 lead. And Morrow unofficially is 4 for 8 in the forward passing department, 77 yards. Has thrown a 34-yard TD pass to Warfield. Warfield has caught 2 56 yards, including that touchdown. Kick has caught 1 for 8. Mandich 1 for 13. Zonka has rushed the ball 6 times, 15 yards. Morris 9 carries, 48 yards. Kick, who has run extremely well this afternoon, has 5 carries, 59 yards. The Dolphins would like to get into at least field goal position. Garrow has a 38-yarder, and he missed one of 45 yards earlier in the ball game before the halftime expired. Let's see what the strategy calls for. 22 seconds to go in the half. Dolphins first down from their 32. Morris and Zonka, the split backs, and behind Morrow. Earl, long count at the line of scrimmage, spins, hands to Merck, sweeps to the left side, gets the corner turn behind Cooch. He's across the 35, and it's belted out of bounds. He was going for the out-of-bounds marker over there. Gets out to about the 38-yard line. Dolphins taking no chances, call a timeout. I don't think he got out of bounds. Tackle on the play made by right cornerback Willie Williams. So that's why they call the timeout. Ball is up at the Dolphins' 38, a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Garrow's longest has been 54 yards, and that was against, who was it against? He had one of 51 against the Buffalo Bills, and kicked one of 54 yards also this season. Those are his 2 longest attempts. Dolphins with a timeout here have still 1 remaining with 14 seconds left to go in the first half. And when time is in, we'll have the ball at their 38-yard line, a second down and 4 situation. The field position is all important now to try to get Garrow into at least some semblance of field goal range.
Rick, with 14 seconds left, and you can't really get too close with that ball on the ground. I think we may see Earl just try to throw that bomb and maybe get down in position for the field goal.
He had the 54-yarder against Buffalo, the 51-yarder against Minnesota. Here is Twilley splitting to the near side, Warfield to the far side. From the Dolphins' 38. Hand off to Morris, sweep to the right, follows his blocking, cuts back in, over the 40 and knocked down at the 42-yard line. Clock continuing to move with 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and the Dolphins use up the timeout. And the clock is stopped with 6 seconds showing on the board. That is a first down for Miami as they put it down at the Dolphins' 43-yard line. Now Morrow goes over to the sideline once again during the timeout period to check things out with Don Shula. Airtime next week from the Orange Bowl for the final regular season game will be at 12:50 on WIOD and these network stations. And our broadcast time for the playoff game on December the 24th from the Orange Bowl, the opponent yet to be determined, will be at 2:50. 2:50 airtime on WIOD and these stations along the network who carry that broadcast. And then we'll play it by ear from there, of course, depending upon what the Dolphins do in the playoffs. They are in a struggle here this afternoon with the Giants, and we're going to get all of the wide receivers in. Now Briscoe comes in, Fuller goes out. Otto Stowe comes in. So Briscoe, who is a great deep threat, Stowe has great speed. Let's see if they actually indeed are going to go deep. Stowe lines up to the near side. His time is in. Briscoe to the far side. Warfield is a flat man left. We've got three wide receivers in there. Zonka and Kick are the split backs. Dropping back to throw is Morrill. He sets. He is firing the ball deep. Down there is Warfield. He makes the grab. He makes the grab. A sensational catch inside the 15, but it's to no avail as the clock runs out. He just could not shake the tacklers who belted him to the ground, but a great pass and a great play to no avail, ending the first half as time runs out. That's the end of the first half with a score. Our Dolphins 17, the Giants 13.
The last kickoff as the second half is about to get a 13. Here is the whistle. Grabs the ball across the 10 to the 15.
And wrestled out of bounds right at the 45-yard line. Charlie Lee, who can really pick him up and lay him down. A magnificent return by Charlie. He's run out of bounds by Otto. And they're going to put it down at the Dolphins' 44. He ran that one back some 31 yards. So the Dolphins have good field position to start with from our 44-yard line.
Rick, looks like they're going to give Larry Snee a little rest. Al Jenkins is in there at the right guard spot.
All right, Morrill is the quarterback, and Butch and Sundance are the running backs. Morrill sets the ball up, first down from our 44-yard line. On the snap, here is the handoff to Kick. He slams the middle on the counter and gets across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. Tackle made by Larry Jacobson and Henry Reed. Jacobson was a star for several years on Nebraska's great teams. He's a rookie. They're starting two rookie tackles, and this is a young ball club except for Snead and guys like center Greg Larson, Joe Morrison, the 14-year veteran. Webster is rebuilding, and he's done an excellent job. Briscoe and Warfield are the wide receivers. Second down and 6, Dolphins from the 48. Here's the handoff to Kick. He is caught behind the line of scrimmage and is belted for a loss. At the 46 is where they're going to mark it. He loses about 2, and that play never even got started as Henry Reed, who's done a great job from his defensive left end, and Jacobson again, the left tackle, smeared him for a 2-yard loss. The Dolphins now will have a third down and about 6 situation. Actually, it's closer to 7 from our 46-yard line. Otto Stowe has come in at a wide receiver. Warfield stays in. He's a flat man right. Briscoe spreads to the far side. Stowe to the near side. Morrill awaits the snap. He drops the throw. He fires. It is caught. And at the 50-yard line, getting no place. And the Dolphins will have to punt the football as Jim Kick, his number was obliterated. He's got a big dirt spot on the back of it. It was Kick who caught the football, and they did not pick up the necessary yardage, getting only to the 50. So the Giants will send back, as Dick Anderson will punt, Bob Grimm, number 27, and number 45, Pete Athers. Anderson has kicked twice for a 43-yard average. The line is scrimmage to 50. Dick standing at the Dolphins' 35. The Giants have stopped the Dolphins' first thrust here in this third quarter. Here's the snap, a little bit high. Not much of a rush. He gets it out of there. High, wobbly end over end kick. Fair catch is made by Grimm at the Giants' 18-yard line. Bob Grimm hauls it in. And so the Giants will start from the 19 is where they're going to put it. Norman Snead will be the quarterback, and we get a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with a score. Our Dolphins 17, the Giants 13. Snead on the first play from scrimmage hits Tucker, the tight end, over the middle. He makes the catch at the 30, shakes tacklers, and gets out across the 40-yard line to the 41 before he is dropped. A tackle by Bonacane. Rather a short time out there by the officials, and they got the play away. Snead on first down, hitting Tucker, the tight end, who picked up a first down out to the 41. Gain of 22 yards. And the Dolphins defense now must stop the Giants. Don Herman splits to the far side. Rick Houston comes to the near side. Ron Johnson lines up as a flat man. Now he comes back with Clement as split back. First down, Giants from their 41. We're in the third quarter. Dolphins lead 17-13. Here's Johnson, a hole to the right side, gets across the 45, out to the 48-yard line. Ron Johnson with his biggest gain of the day, Mike Colin. Dolphins linebacker makes the tackle on the play, and he gets about 7. It'll be second down and 3 for New York. And they have come out fired up in this third quarter.
Nick Bonaconte got a piece of them also, Rick.
The ball at the New York 48-yard line. A second down and 3. The Dolphins lead 17-13. Norman Snead, who has been great. The Dolphins have not been able to get to him on the pass rush. Lines his ball club up. Houston and Herman are split to the far side. A second and 3 from the New York 48-yard line. Here's the handoff. Johnson into the middle. And he gets across the 50 to about the 49. Not quite enough, at least it would appear from here, for a first down. Before he is smothered by white jerseys covered with mud. Manny Fernandez gets up off the bottom of the pile. They put the ball down at the Miami 41-yard line. That is going to be just... Are they going to bring the chains in? They are. Snead wants a measurement, so they're going to bring him in. The ball is just across the 50, actually, at the Miami 49.5-yard line. We'll call it the 49. They made it by the nose of the football. First down, New York at the Miami 49-yard line. The Giants obviously feel that they've got to get this running game going. Johnson was held to just 27 yards and 12 carries in the first half. And the Dolphins have got to start to get to Snead. All right, to the near side comes Herman. Houston splits left in the eye. Clements and Johnson. First down, New York at the Dolphins 49-yard line. Snead on the snap. Hands off to Johnson on the delay. Sweep to the right. He does not get the corner turn. He's run out of bounds right at the 49 by Mike Colin from his linebacker position. Johnson, the ball carrier. Might have gotten a half yard. We'll still call it the 49. Make it a second down and 10. And Bob Matheson comes in as the Dolphins go into their prevent, and Bob Hines goes out. We have 10 minutes, 51 seconds left to go in the third period. Miami leads 17-13. Could not move the football against the Giants defense on the first offensive thrust of this third quarter. And the Giants took a 31-yard punt by Dick Anderson and started this drive from their 19. A second down and 10. The ball just inside the Miami 49-yard line. Herman splits near side. Houston to the far side. Clements and Johnson, the split backs in behind Norman Snead. On the snap. Play fake. Drops the throw. Getting pursued. Swings it to Johnson across the 45. Cuts to the far side. Bounces off a tackler and is nailed at about the 42-yard line. Curtis Johnson finally brought him down. Ron Johnson out of the backfield.
And Rick, once again, just that close. They almost get to Snead, but he just gets that ball off in time. And this time, he gave it out to Johnson, who was his safety valve out there, and made a darn good play out of it.
The ball is at the Miami 42-yard line and quickly covered up by a towel. It'll be a third down and 3 as they pick up about 7 yards on the pass completion from Snead to Ron Johnson. Snead brings them up. Third down and 3. In the first half, they had 3 out of 5 in first down conversion attempts. Herman splits left, Houston to the near side. The eye back for Clement and Ron Johnson. Here's the handoff. Johnson bangs the middle, a big hole, and he's inside the 40. Should be enough for the first down. Ron Johnson banging into the middle. First down, New York. Tackled by Fernandez and Swift. And the ball is put down at the Miami 38-yard line. First down for the Giants as Snead keeps the ball on the ground. He has thrown just a couple of passes. The fans here really up in the air. Houston splits near side. A couple of yards split to the far side is Herman from the Dolphins 38-yard line. Snead gets his ball club, waiting for the snap. He hands off, and a quick hitter into the middle, Clement. He gets to maybe the 35. Bob Matheson was waiting for him. And perhaps he's a little bit shy of the 35-yard line. As they put it down, they haven't put it down yet. Put it down at the 36. So give him a gain of 2. It'll be second down, and we'll call it 8. At the Dolphins, 36-yard line. Herman splits far side, Houston to the near side. Johnson and Clements, the split backs. In behind, Norman Snead. Second down and 8 from the Miami 36. Here is the handoff. A quick trap. Clements over the left side gets inside the 35 to the 34. The Dolphins reacted well on defense. Bonacani sliding across as Snead could have play faked that time, but he handed off to Clements, and he gets just a couple.
Rick, this offensive line of the Giants is just blocking too well on standard defenses. So Nick Bonacani is tricking in there. Matheson is playing all sorts of tricks. We're going to see these people coming from all different areas out there in that defense.
All right, here's a big third down play for Snead from the Dolphins 34, a third down and 6. And they have to get to about the 28-yard line. Houston near side, Herman on his far side, split receivers, dropping to throw is Snead. He fires for the near side. It is caught by Houston, and he's out of bounds. Down the near side, enough for a first down. The ball is inside the 30, close to the 25-yard line. Tim Foley ran him out. Rick Houston, the near side wide receiver.
Beautiful catch on behalf of Houston. Ricky had that ball right out in front. There was no way that Tim Foley could get to that ball. Caught it, nestled it in his arms, and stepped out of bounds. Beautiful.
The ball is at the Miami 22-yard line. Hines comes back in, and Matheson goes out. First down for the Giants at the Miami 22. They're moving away from us on the skin part of the baseball diamond, and the yard markers have been somewhat obliterated, so it's tough for us to spot the football. Snead on first down, hands to Clement. A hole on the left side, and he is really ripped inside the 20. Doug Swift filled that hole in a hurry and flattened him out after he got about 4 yards, down to about the 18-yard line. Again, we'll wait and see where they put the football down. Clement has looked good. He's a big running back, a rookie from Connecticut. At the 18, a second down and 6. He's carried 8 times for 45 yards, and Snead has really played ball control in this drive. Now Herman splits left. Houston is a slot man left. Johnson and Clements, the split backs behind Snead. A second and 6 from Miami 18. Here's a handoff to Johnson over the right side, and he's not going to get very far as he is stopped by Vern Denherter and Doug Swift. And let's see again as they unpile down there right at about the second base bag where it would be in baseball, where they're going to mark the ball at about the 16-yard line. He got a couple of yards. They have to get to about the 12 for a first down. We'll call it the third and about 4 at the Dolphins 16 down at the west end of the field. 7 minutes to go in this third quarter, and they have used almost 5 minutes in this drive. Houston splits left, Herman to the near side. Clement, Johnson remain the split back. Third and 4, the Dolphins 16. Back to throw goes Snead. He fires. It is incomplete. There wasn't anybody near the football. And somebody got mixed up there. And so Gogolak comes in to try a field goal. That was a busted pattern. The Giants are still standing around out there talking about it. There wasn't anybody near it. So the Dolphins defense has held as far as a touchdown, it would appear, in this particular situation. The ball is at the 16. This will be about a 23-yard attempt for Gogolak. On the season, he is 18 for 27 with 85 points. And Blanchard is in the hold. About a 23-yard attempt from straight out in front. Snap, set down. It's a fake. Blanchard, the quarterback, is going to throw. Now is he going to run? He fires the ball. It is dropped, incomplete. And the Dolphins will take over down at their 16-yard line. That's what we were kind of looking for, because Blanchard, who holds and is the punter, is also a quarterback and was a good one at the University of Oregon. And it was a fake field goal, and he put it out to the near side and tried to find a receiver open, threw the ball low, and so they forsake 3 points, trying to go for the TD and perhaps the first down to keep the drive alive, and they missed it. That drive consumed 6 minutes and 12 seconds. There's a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with the score: our Dolphins 17, the Giants 13. Rick Weaver at Yankee Stadium on the fake field goal attempt, the incomplete forward pass. On fourth down, the Dolphins take over, first down at our 16-yard line. Warfield and Briscoe are the wide receivers. Kick and Zonk are the running backs. Morrow from the Dolphins 16 hands the kick, the sweep to the right, cuts back to the left, and he's not going to get very far as he runs into big Larry Jacobson, the 260-pound, 6'5" first-year man from Nebraska, number 75. Kicked the ball carrier. That drive by the Giants used up 6 minutes and 12 seconds, and they did not score. Ball is put down at the 16. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Rick, we're seeing two fine young defensive tackles in Larry Jacobson, number 75, and John Mendenhall, number 64. They're really coming in and putting pressure on those guards.
All right, Briscoe splits to the far side. Warfield, who was covered with mud, who splits to the near side. Kick and Zonka. Morrill drops back to throw. He fires. It is caught by a kick out of the backfield. And he's out to about the 25-yard line, if I read my yard markers correctly down there. That'll be a little bit shy of what they need for a first down. Tackled by Willie Williams, the right corner, and the right side linebacker, Pat Hughes. And they will put the ball down at the Miami 25. It'll be a 3rd down and 1. And the Dolphins insert Mercury Morris. And the Dolphins are 3 for 8 in 3rd down conversions this afternoon. 5:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Miami leads 17-13. They've got the tight ends in also, both of them, Fleming and Mandich, on 3rd and 1 from the Dolphins 25. Morrill hands off, and here is Big Zonk ramming through a big hole on the left side. He's got the first down across the 30 out to about the 32-yard line. Tackled by Willie Williams and Jim Files. So the Dolphins pick up a first down out to about the 32-yard line in Miami territory. Well,
Big Wayne Moore really did a great job on Jack Gregory on clearing him out of there to make that hole for Zonk, Rick.
Wayne Moore playing at left tackle and Al Jenkins at right guard for the Dolphins. Morris and Zonka the split back. Dolphins first down from their 32-yard line. Warfield and Briscoe, the wide receivers. Flag goes down. Here's a pass. It is dropped by Briscoe. I believe Briscoe started across the line of scrimmage too soon. They're going to call illegal motion on Miami. And I believe Briscoe is the man on whom it will be called because he started a full step ahead of the snap. The pass intended for him was incomplete. That stops the clock with a penalty. 4 minutes, 31 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Illegal motion is the call, and the Giants decline it. Takes it down instead. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 situation for the Dolphins from our 32-yard line. This has been a tenacious New York Giant defense. And they have put some pressure on Earl. He has been dumped only once, but they have been able to harass him. Briscoe splits right, Warfield on the near side. 2nd and 10, Dolphins from the 32. Fake handoff on the play action. Morrill spins, fires down the near side. It is intercepted by the Giants, and down immediately is Willie Williams, the right cornerback, at the New York 36-yard line. It was intended for Warfield. There is a flag, however, back upfield at the 43-yard line, and we'll see what this is all about. Williams picked the pass off as Morrill went back to throw. He looked like he slipped as he spun around to get his right foot planted. The Dolphins are conferring with the officials, Will.
Rick, I think there's a call on John Mendenhall down here on the sidelines. He got a little rambunctious and may have thrown a forearm or something like that, but I think that the interception will stand.
Willie Williams, the right cornerback, is the man who picked it off, and that for Morrill is his 6th interception of the season. They get a personal foul call against the Giants, and they will march it off. Apparently, this is what it looks like from the point where Williams was brought down. Warfield had him around one leg. He was the intended pass receiver. Clock is stopped on the penalty with 4:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. And the penalty will be marched off from the 36 against the Giants, a personal foul indication. They haven't put it down yet. Well, where are they going to put it down? They're going to put it down back at the 15-yard line. Now the Giants are all upset, saying that you're taking too much yardage. Now the fans begin to holler. Snead comes over. The officials are in a huddle. I think they're about 5 yards off. They are. They pick it up from the 16 and put it back out to the 21. Let's call it the 20. That's just across the Giants' 20-yard line. So they got about a 15.5-yard penalty out of that, and almost a 20.5-yarder. The Giants will start from their 20-yard line with 4:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. Miami leading 17-13. There's been no scoring in this 3rd quarter. Herman lines up to the far side. Houston to the near side. Clements and Johnson, the I-backs, behind Norm Snead. On first down, he play fakes, drops the throw, and he has to eat it. We finally got to him. Bill Stansfield put the quietus on that, and he flattens them out. And let's see where they're going to mark it. He hit it from the blind side, and that's the first time the Dolphins have gotten to Mr. Snead. They put it back at the 11-yard line, so he loses 9. It'll be a second down coming up at 19.
Rick, you've got to wonder how that Willie Young can't keep anybody out of that backfield. Willie Young is only 6 foot tall. He may weigh 265 pounds. But when you're blocking up against guys like Sample, who's 6'5", boy, it's mighty hard to keep him out of there.
The ball back at the New York 11, second and 19. Other scores, third quarter, the Bears have gone ahead of the Eagles, 14-12. In the second quarter, New Orleans leads New England 3-0. Second quarter, St. Louis 10, Los Angeles nothing. Second quarter, Minnesota 7, Green Bay nothing. Second quarter, Denver 7, San Diego nothing. Second and 19 from the Giants, 11-yard line. Here's the handoff going to Clements over the left side, spins, Bucks drives his way out to about the 15-yard line. Vince Clements, the 208-pound rook from Connecticut, tackled by Bob Matheson. Let's pause for station identification along the Miami Dolphin Football Network.
Leasing a car is a pleasure when you deal with the largest leasing company affiliated with the General Motors dealer, William Lehman Leasing. Call for details.
WIOD Miami.
Rick Weaver back at Yankee Stadium. 3:39 left to play in the third quarter. Dolphins clinging to precariously to a 17-13 lead. Big third down play here for Snead. Third down and 15 from the Giants' 15. Let's see what he comes up with. He will drop the throw. Gets excellent protection. Now fires in the middle, and is caught by Tucker, the tight end at the 30. He leans forward, and he's got the first down. Heads-up football by Bob Tucker, the tight end, and he was really blasted by Bob Matheson. But he just fell forward. He looked over to the yard marker on the near side, fell forward a yard, and that's all they needed for a first down, and they pick it up. They picked up 16 yards on the pass completion. And Snead hits Tucker. First down, Giants from their 31. That keeps the drive alive. Herman splits left. Houston to the near side. That's a good football team. Clements, Johnson, the eye back. In behind Snead. Here's Snead, hands off to Johnson. Finds a small opening on the left side and gets out to about the 35. That's a good deal of second effort. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, bounced off a tackle, and Nick Bonacani finally brought him down, along with Curtis Johnson. After a gain of 4, it'll be second down and 6 for New York at their 35. Clock continues to move with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in this third period. Miami getting 10 in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter. The Giants 6 in the first period, 7 in the second quarter, and the Dolphins lead 17-13.
Rick Colin just left the ball game limping. I think they brought in Jesse Powell in his place.
Well, we'll check with Henry on that in just a moment. Second down and 6 for the Giants. The ball from their 35. They are set fairly tight this time. Here's Snead, play fake, sprints back to his right, pumps once, fires the ball, incomplete. Was intended for Tucker. Bob Tucker, and Doug Swift is the man who is over covering on the play. The ball was thrown a little high, bounced off his fingertip. Brings up a third down and 6 for the Giants from their 35-yard line. Thus far in the ball game, Mr. Snead on third down conversions is 6 out of 10. He's 12 for 18 through the air for 203 yards unofficially. A minute 56 seconds to go in this third period. Another big third down play for Snead. He splits Herman to the far side, Houston to the near side. Clements and Johnson the split back. He drops the throw. He has time. He's being rushed now. He fires deep. It is picked off by Curtis Johnson at the 45 in Dolphin territory. He gets back out to the 48-yard line. Curtis Johnson got up in front of Rich Houston that time, and the Dolphins take it away. As Curtis Johnson comes up with a big play in the ball game, and that for Curtis is his second interception of the season. We get a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from Yankee Stadium with the score. Our Dolphins 17, the Giants 13. Curtis Johnson just picked off that Snead pass. The Dolphins have it at the Miami 49. Henry?
Mike Colin's right ankle was at least twisted. They're taking him into the locker room, going to look at it closer and work on him.
All right, we need a score here. Morrow hands off to the kick, I believe. Some of these jersey numbers are getting...
Mars, Rick.
It was Mercury Morris. They're getting so... the numbers are getting obliterated by the dirt and the mud. And Mercury Morris carried, gets out to the 50-yard line, a gain of just a yard. Larry Jacobson again, that left tackle, makes the stop. It's a second down and 9. The ball at the midfield stripe. A minute and 22 to go in the third quarter. Dolphins lead 17-13. Morris and Zonka are the setbacks. Warfield has split a couple of yards to the near side, and Briscoe has split a couple of yards off to the far side. From the midfield stripe, second down and 9. Morrow, long count at the line of scrimmage stop. to throw. He is firing deep down the near sideline. Warfield, he's got it out of bounds inside the 20. Let's see what they're going to call it at the 17-yard line. A tremendous catch by the man that I consider to be the premier receiver. He's been hurt this year. He's been double, triple teamed. But what a catch he made there. As Morrow hit Warfield with a tremendous pass and a great catch. He caught the ball at the 20 and was run out of bounds at the 17. As the Dolphins pick up a first down on a 33-yard pass completion. Warfield is having a great afternoon. He's caught a touchdown. He has caught 4 for 132 yards. The ball at the New York 17-yard line. They break out of the huddle. Briscoe sets as a wingman off to the right. Morris and Zonka, the split backs behind Morrow. Waiting for the snap. Here's the handoff to Mercury. Sweep to the right. He is going to be tripped up for a loss, and there's a flag. 2 flags down. He lost about a yard. Never did get the corner turn. Holding is going to be called against Miami. Pete Athos, the left cornerback, makes the tackle. Rick Zonka's limping back the huddle. Larry was in the blocking cordon out there. Henry?
Larry's limping, and Norm Evans is a little groggy, it appears, too.
Well, unfortunately for the Dolphins, they detected holding, and that puts the ball back at the New York 33-yard line with 54 seconds to go in this third quarter. Al Jenkins, the right guard, is the man who was detected holding. The Dolphins have a 1st and 25 from the New York 33. They have to get down to about the 7.5-yard line for a first down. Warfield near side, Briscoe far side. Morrow drops the throw. He fires in the middle. It is almost picked off. It was intended for Warfield, and the ball was thrown way over his head. Willie Williams, the right cornerback, who had an interception earlier, is the man who, had he been a foot taller, he could have grabbed that one.
Rick, Wayne Moore has had a pretty good day so far on Jack Gregory, but all of a sudden Jack Gregory is really turning it on, and he's giving Moore a real hard time. He's been right there in Earl's lap just about every time he's thrown the last 2 or 3 times.
Marv Fleming was wide open on that play down the middle, and he leaves the ball game for a moment, and Jim Mandich comes in. It's 2nd and 25. Dolphins from the Giants 33. 50 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Miami leading by just 4, 17-13. Otto Stowe is in the ball game. 3 wide receivers. Now as the Dolphins deploy the wide receivers on the draw play, Morris hits the middle, slips and falls down as he gets to the 30-yard line. They tried to spread the defense, and Jim Files, the left linebacker, fell on top of him. He picked up just 3, and it'll bring up a third down and 23 yards to go for a Miami first down from the Giants' 30. We'll say they have to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. Zonka goes out, and Jim Kick is in. Stowe, Briscoe, Warfield, Kick, and Morris are the split back. 3rd and 22 from the Giants' 30-yard line with 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Morrow barks those signals. He drops back to throw. He's set. He is going to run with the ball now. He's looking for a hole at the 25 and gets to the 23. He had nobody open. Pat Hughes, the linebacker, and Earl was almost trapped for a big loss. He broke out of the pocket and gets 7 yards down to the 23-yard line. So the Dolphins are going to have to settle for a field goal, but there is no time left in the third quarter. That's the end of the third period. Dolphin football action will continue from Yankee Stadium, where the sun has just broken through the clouds. With the score, our Dolphins 17, the Giants 13. And this is a big field goal here. They put the Dolphins 7 points up, if he can make it. Waiting for the snap. Set down. Kick is up. He's got the distance. It's perfect. And Yepremian puts you right through there. And this little guy under pressure has always been great, but the last 2 years have been just magnificent. So Yepremian with a 30-yard field goal. The Dolphins now have a 7-point lead with 14 minutes and 56 seconds left to play in this ball game. That drive, 27 yards, 6 plays. Yepremian culminating it with a 30-yard field goal. Joe Orduña and Rocky Thompson go back as the deep men to receive the kickoff down here at the far end of the field away from us at the west end. Thompson fumbled one earlier. The Dolphins, Charlie, they recovered it. Chicago 14, Philadelphia 12, third quarter. New England 7, New Orleans 3, second quarter. St. Louis 10, the Rams nothing, second quarter. Minnesota 7, Green Bay nothing second quarter. Denver 7, San Diego nothing second quarter. Detroit and Buffalo in the third period tied 7-7. Here is the whistle. Garrow comes forward. He gets the kick high. It is not going to be particularly deep. We've got the wind sprung up. Thompson grabs the ball at the 5, starts for the middle, up the near side, and somebody misses a tackle on him, and he gets out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Hubert Ginn brought him down. Let's see where they're going to put the football down, just the other side of the 30-yard line. That's right about where the third base bag would be. On a 23-yard return. So Snead will start with the Giants from the Giant 28. The Dolphins with a 7-point lead, 20-13. He brings him out, splits down Herman to the near side. Rich Houston to the far side. Ron Johnson and Vince Clements remain the running backs. Now Johnson goes in motion off to the far side of the field. Snead on the snap, drops to throw. He fires. It is caught on a slant in across the middle, 35 to the 40, and it's Rich Houston. He gets across the 40 out to about the 41 or 2-yard line before Bob Matheson brings him down. Snead has hit 13 out of 20 unofficially at the first down for New York as they mark the ball at the Giant 42. 13 out of 20 for 217 yards through the air. The ball at the Giant 42. Herman splits to the near side. Houston off to the far side. Here is the handoff to Clements. Diggs drives, bucks his way into the middle, and gets out across the 45 to about the 46. Tackle made by Bill Stanfield. Gain of 4 will be second down and 6. Clock moving with 13 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. Still plenty of time. The Dolphins lead 20-13. Snead brings them out with a second down and 6 from the New York 46. Herman splits to the near side. Houston off to the far side. Clements and Johnson the split backs. In behind Norman Snead. He spins, hands off to Johnson, follows his blocking, and what he thought was a hole over the right side, and gets only to the 49-yard line before he is smothered by white jerseys. Jesse Powell playing in the linebacker spot for Miami, and Bill Stanfield, who has done a great job this afternoon. Stanfield has the only sack of Snead. The ball is at the New York 49, and we get another third down conversion here for Snead. Third down and 3. He is 6 for 11. In the third down conversion department this afternoon. Houston splits far side, Herman to the near side. 3rd and 3 from the Giants 49. Waiting for the snap. Here's the handoff. Johnson, he is knocked down at the Dolphins 49-yard line, and I don't believe he made enough yardage for the first down. Doug Swift really cracked him. Jesse Powell also, and where they mark the ball here is going to be very, very important.
I'll tell you, Rick, Doug Swift just did an excellent job on knocking down all the interference coming out there. He didn't make the tackle, but he knocked down 3 of the blockers so that the other man could make the tackle. Powell.
It's close enough that they're going to bring in the chains for a measurement. The ball is just across the 50 of the Miami 49. And they missed it by a good foot, maybe 2 feet. And the fans are setting up a howl to go for it on 4th down. They trail by just 7 points with 12:29 to go. Bob Hines has come back in on the Dolphin defensive unit. The ball is at the Miami 49, 4th down, and about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet to go for a first down.
Rick, it looks like they're going.
They're going to go for it. They have to almost at this stage of the ball game, trailing by 7 points with 12:22 to go. All right, long time in the huddle. They bring it. The 2 tight ends are in. Dick Kotite is in there along with Tucker. Here's the handoff to Johnson. He is through a hole to the right side, and he digs and drives to the 45 for the first down. Curtis Johnson makes the tackle. Ron Johnson, thus far in the ball game, has carried a total of 21 times. He is really a workhorse.
I'll tell you, Rick, Ruddle runner. He was stopped there. Ordinarily, any other back would just give up on it, but he just kept digging and driving and looked like Arzanka. Wanted to get that first down.
All right, with the clock moving, 11:40 left to play. The Giants have a first down at the Miami 45. Houston splits far side, Herman to the near side. Clements and Ron Johnson, the split backs, in behind Norman Snead. First down from the Miami 45. Snead back to throw. He sets and fires in the middle. It is almost intercepted. It was intended for Tucker, and it bounced off his fingertip. And as it came down, Bob Matheson, who was laying on the ground, almost picked it off, but he, too, could not control the ball. So it's an incomplete pass. Second down and 10. Giants from the Dolphins 45. And Hines is out. And into the ball game goes Jesse Powell. Henry?
Rick, the rain has stopped down here, but now we've got a new problem. A wind is picking up, and it's blowing into the face of the Giants.
All right, the ball at the Miami 45-yard line with a second down and 10 for New York. Houston splits far side, Herman to the near side. Clements and Johnson set in the eye. Here is a handoff to Clements through a big hole on the right side. A good trap on the right side. He's inside the 40 down to about the 36-yard line. Manny Fernandez dragged him down from behind. And that is still about 2 yards shy of what they need for a first down. This drive started back at the 28-yard line. And they have run 7 plays. The ball is at the Miami 36.5-yard line. They need a good 2 yards for a first down. 3rd and 2. Houston out of the huddle, splits to the far side. Everybody else is set in tight for the blocking. Johnson and Clements split behind Snead. 3rd down and a long 2. Here's a handoff to Johnson. He's got the first down over the right side to the Miami 30-yard line. And a dandy block by Joe Tafoni and Doug Van Horn. Dick Anderson, from the safety position, made the tackle, and Snead has got him moving. And also playing ball control. 10 minutes, 21 seconds left to play in this football game. A first down for New York at the Miami 30-yard line, and that breeze that has just sprung up is cold. St. Louis has now moved to a 17-0 lead over the Rams in the second quarter. But here it's 20-13. Dolphins by 7. The Giants on the move with 10:05 to play. A first down at the Miami 30-yard line. Here's a handoff to Johnson. Sweep to the right, cuts back to his left, and he's knocked down at the 28. Gain of 2. Nick Bonacani, the middle linebacker, who has done a tremendous job for the Dolphins this afternoon, and Dick Anderson in on the tackle. It'll be a second down and 8 for New York. The ball at the Miami 28-yard line. Scores of other games will follow on WIOD in Miami. Airtime next Saturday, December the 16th, from the Orange Bowl against the Colts will be at 12:50 on these stations. The Dolphins defense now with the pressure on them. A second down and 8 for the Giants at the Miami 28-yard line. Houston splits far side, Herman to the near side. Clements and Johnson, the split backs behind Snead. Snead takes the handoff. Here's the pitch back into the backfield. And a fumble! Who's got it? Who's got it? At the 33. A big pile up. Miami's got it.
Lou, Rick, this is Manny Fernandez. Manny really hit the ball carrier, and then as the ball squirted out, Manny dived back and got right on top of that football. Good playing by old Manny.
That was an intended run on a tight end around, and Tucker, the man whom the ball was pitched to, fumbled it. Bob Hines recovered for Miami, and Manny Fernandez forced the play, so the Dolphins defense takes the ball on another Giant turnover at a crucial situation in the ball game. We get a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. The score, our Dolphins 20 and the Giants 13. Rick Weaver from Yankee Stadium. Bob Hines gets the fumble recovery. Manny Fernandez forced the play. The Dolphins have now got to play ball control and move it with 9:06 to go, leading by only 7 points. First down Miami from the Dolphins 32-yard line. Here's a handoff. Donka slams it across the left side, dragging people with him, and gets out to the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. Tackle on the play made by linebacker Pat Hughes for New York. 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go. The ball is at the 36. Gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. Giants have been guilty of 4 turnovers this afternoon. 3 fumbles, all of which have been recovered by Miami, and Curtis Johnson's pass interception. Morrill has been intercepted once. Morris has gone out, and kick is in. Second and 6, Dolphins from their 36-yard line. Here's Morrill. Play fake. He drops the throw. Now he's looking. He's going to have to run with the ball. Starts for the far sideline. Eludes one tackler and is knocked down at the 38. He was trying to go deep down the far side of the field. At least he was looking in that direction. But Warfield apparently was covered up. And so he was lucky to get out of there with a 2-yard gain. Tackle made by linebacker Jim Files and Jack Gregory, who's done a great job on defense for the Giants this afternoon. Ball is at the Miami 38-yard line, and here's a big play coming up with third down and about 5 yards to go. 7 minutes, 51 seconds to play. The Dolphins lead 20-13, and this Giant defense has really stiffened here in the second half. The Dolphins have been able to get only a field goal. Warfield splits left, Briscoe to the near side. Back to throw is Morrow. He fires. It is caught by kick out of the backfield. He's got enough for the first down, up across the 40, almost to the 45. He slanted out to the far sideline and is knocked down at the Miami 44. So the Dolphins convert on a third down situation, and we are now 5 out of 11 in that department. Hughes makes the tackle for New York. The Dolphins keeping control of the football as Morris comes back in. Kick has had himself a great afternoon running. He is 8 for 61, and as a pass receiver, he has caught 4 for 27 and clutch passes. First down, Dolphins from our 44-yard line. Briscoe splits off the near side. Morris and Zonka in the eye behind Morrill with 7 minutes exactly left to play. Morrill, long count at the line of scrimmage, pitches to Morris. The sweep to the right behind Zonka, gets the block. He turns the corner and is across the 45 and knocked to the ground on the near sideline at about the 48-yard line. A gain of 4. Merck unofficially 14 carries for 66 yards. And he coming in, he needed 193 for the 1,000-yard club, but there's still another game remaining next Saturday against the Colts for him to try and get that to join Zonka. And if that would be achieved, the Dolphins would have the only 2 running backs in history on the same ball club with 1,000 yards or over. Second down and 5. Here's the handoff to Morris. Starts inside. It's caught and dropped at the 50-yard line. Tackle by Jim Files, the linebacker, did a good job. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Just shy of the 50. We'll call it the 50-yard line. And we've got a 3rd and 5. Another third down situation coming up. Kick is in. Mandich is in. Morris and Fleming go out. 5 minutes, 52 seconds to go. The Dolphins have to keep the ball here. 3rd down and 5. They lead by only 7, 20-13 against a rock-hard Giant football team. Warfield splits left, Briscoe to the near side. Kick and Zonka, the split backs behind Morrill. 3rd and 5 from the 50-yard line. Back to throw. Morrill sets up. He is firing deep. Briscoe's down there. He can't hold it. The ball knocked away on a fine defensive play by Pete Athis, the youngster from Miami. Briscoe looked like he had an angle on the inside of him, but Athis reached over his shoulder and deflected the pass out of there. So that brings up a 4th down. And Dick Anderson will punt. The Dolphins certainly hate to give the football up here. Grimm and Athis are back as the deep man. Anderson standing back at the Miami 35 with 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go. The line of scrimmage is the 50-yard line. Here is the snap. He gets the kick out of there. It's high and it's not deep at all. End over end. Depending on the bounce. Hit somebody. Loose football. Who's got it? Who's got it? Looks like Miami may have picked it up. It hit a Giant. John Mendenhall is the man whom it hit. Larry Ball fell on it. Now let's see what the officials are going to call it. That ball took a bounce and it hit Mendenhall. Apparently Miami's football. So the Dolphins get a big break on that play.
Rick, I'll tell you, that's great kicking on the part of Anderson, because really Mendenhall never even looked up, saw the ball coming at him, hit him right in the headgear, and Ball played heads-up ball and recovered that punt.
Larry has looked good this afternoon, and that is 5 turnovers now for the Giants. Let's see where the football is. If I can pick it out down there. It's on the 16-yard line, right down at the far end of the field on the skin part of the diamond. Kick and Zonka. Dolphins would love to get into the end zone from here. Morrill fumbles the ball, picks it up, and is immediately smothered. That was mixed up on the snap. And Morrill quickly reacted, picked it up, and knew he was going to get clobbered. But he lost a little bit. Let's see where they're going to mark it now. Boy, it's tough to read the yard markers down there. Henry Reed is the fellow who got to him first. Put the ball back on the 17, so the Dolphins lose only a yard. 2nd down and 11. Miami football at the Giants 17. That punt by Anderson touched Mendenhall. Dick was in a similar situation against the Jets himself last year, he recalls, and the ball fell on it. All right, Briscoe splits near side. Warfield flat man right. Here's the handoff. The kick. He goes inside the 15 over the left side and gets maybe down to about the 13-yard line. Let's put it down at the 12. Tackle made by Hornsby, the middle linebacker, and Williams, the right cornerback. So we have a 3rd down situation and about 7 yards to go for a 1st down. The ball is on the 13 is where they put it down there. The Dolphins lead 20-13, 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Warfield splits far side, Briscoe near side. Kick and Zonka. The ball at the 13. They need to get to 6 for a first down. This is a 3rd and 7 situation. Here is the handoff. Going to kick. Slams over the right side and inside the 10. I don't believe he got enough for a first down. He's brought down at about the 8-yard line. A tackle by the middle linebacker, Ron Hornsby. And the Dolphins will send in Garrow, who has field goals of 37 and 30 yards. Missed one of 45. The ball is on the 9-yard line, so this will be an approximate 16-yard attempt. And Garrow out there with that towel, wiping himself off a plate. This is very important. He's digging a hole with a towel right where he wants Morrill to set the ball down. This is a big field goal attempt. 3:10 left to go. The Dolphins lead by 7. Here's the snap, set down. Yepremian puts it up. It's good. So the little guy, again, with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left to play in this football game. It's now 23-13. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. As we said, the score, our Dolphins 23, the Giants 13. Here's the kickoff. Yepremian high, not deep. Thompson behind the blocking wall, out there at about 10. Here's a reverse in the backfield. And the man who took it was Elridge Small, and he has Bill back there. He went no place. They tried to crisscross back there, and Lloyd Mumford leading the special teams charge downfield as the man who got him. Let's pause for station identification along the Miami Dolphins Football Network.
Drive a new and different car every 6 months. William Lehman Leasing makes it possible. Call William Lehman Leasing for details.
WIOD Miami.
The ball is at the 17-yard line in Giant territory. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Both clubs have their timeouts remaining. Snead trailing by 10 points now. Really has to get something going. And the Dolphins know it. He drops the throw, fires the slant out to Johnson. He gets out across the 20-yard line and is knocked down at about the 22 or 3. Matheson and Anderson on the tackle. Henry?
Mike Colin has returned to the field. He has his right ankle taped on the outside of the shoe, but I doubt that they will play him anymore. However, he could if necessary.
A lot of people leaving now. We're coming up to the 2-minute warning. They picked up 7 yards on the pass completion. The ball at the New York 23, a 2nd down and 3 coming up. They split the receivers to the near side. Snead drops the throw, fires the same pattern out there. It's caught by Clements, and he gets up across the 30. That should be good enough for a first down to about the 31. And there is the 2-minute warning. The tackle made by over there by Tim Foley. That's the 2-minute warning. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. The score, our Dolphins 23 and the Giants 13. Rick Weaver back at Yankee Stadium. 1:54 on the board. The Giants are 69 yards away, trailing by 10 points. A first down from their 31. Lloyd Mumford has gone in. Dolphins defensive secondary. Snead, who has performed very notably this afternoon, brings his ball club up, and they've got receivers spread all over the place. First down, New York from their 31. Snead drops the throw, getting a rush. He swings a screen, and it's dropped by Clements. And they put on a good rush that time. Denherter finally got in and flattened him out, but he got the pass away, and it was dropped.
And Bob Matheson, I'm sure, really enjoyed that. He just extended both his arms and pushed Snead down. Just Snead let the ball go.
Henry?
I think a good comment on this game, Rick, is if you look straight ahead in front of you, is that Larry Zonka sitting on the bench. He's caked with mud, sitting over here cleaning it out of his helmet, his ears, covered with it, just caked all over.
Well, they'll spend a lot of time in the showers, but that warm water will feel nice and good, especially with number 13 wrapped up if they can get it. Snead drops back to throw, fires the middle. It's intercepted by the Dolphins, Nick Buoniconti, and Nick is knocked down inside the 40-yard line of the Giants, down to about the 36. So the Dolphins' defensive captain picks off his second pass of the year. He grabbed that at about the 45. It was intended for the tight end Tucker, and he gets it back down to the Giants' 36-yard line. We got a timeout. It's all on the field. That is 6 turnovers for New York. And they have beaten themselves with mistakes and good Dolphin defense and good offense this afternoon.
And that has to be a real happy Nick Buoniconti that was going off the field there, Rick. He came in here saying that he's going to hold that Ron Johnson, keep him down from really making a big mark here against the defense. And he's done a darn good job. Then to cap it off here with this interception right at the end of the game. What could be sweeter?
Johnson, incidentally, has carried unofficially 23 times for 62 yards, which is way, way below his average. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 42 seconds left to go. The Dolphins with a 10-point lead. The ball is at the 37-yard line in Giant territory is where they put it. And our Special Teams Award this afternoon for an outstanding performance on the Dolphins special squad. He recovered a fumble at a key position in the ball game and made numerous tackles, was all over the field for his second time this year. The big youngster from Louisville, number 51, Larry Ball. It could have gone several directions, but Larry's fumble recovery at a key point in the ball game on that punt that touched the New York Giant man really set it up. Garrow could have won it. Charlie Leap has played outstandingly on the specialty teams. A 31-yard kick return and also a recovered fumble. Let's see what the Dolphins strategy calls for now with 1:42 to go. First down at the Giants' 37. Here's a handoff to Zonka, who's back in there, and he rams in across the left side, gets to about the 35-yard line. And Miami calls a timeout. You get Mercury Morris back in as kick goes out. Check it. It's charged to the Giants, not Miami. The referee first called it Dolphins, and then he turned around and changed his mind. So the timeout is charged to New York. Stops the clock with 1:37 to go. The ball is at the 34-yard line. Gives off 3 yards. It'll be a second down. And about 7 for Miami's first down. The Dolphins have scored 6 points in this fourth quarter on field goals by Yepremian. The Giants have been shut out in the second half. Morrill has put together a couple of drives with Giant turnovers and alert defensive play. And this Dolphins specialty team, outside of that opening kickoff, returned by Orduña at some 35 yards, has been magnificent. All right, Otto Stowe out of the huddle splits to the far side. Briscoe to the near side. Morris and Zonka, the I-backs, behind Morrill from the Giants' 34-yard line. On the snap, here's the handoff to Mercury. Threads his way through a hole in the middle and gets down to about the 30-yard line. Every time he carries the football now, he's moving toward that 1,000-yard mark, and unofficially he has 72 yards in this ball game on 16 carries. They put the ball down at the at about the 31-yard line. And time is out again on the field. The clock is stopped with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to play. It'll be a third down and about 5 situation for Miami when time is in. Remember, Saturday, December the 16th, next Saturday, the Dolphins' final home game, and let's turn out and root this ball club into a perfect season against their old nemesis, the Colts. Oh, how they would love to stop the Dolphin winning streak next week. Airtime on these stations will be at 12:50. The Dolphins arrive back at Miami International about 7:45 tonight, and our Miami fans are invited to stay tuned for our scoreboard show on WIOD at the conclusion of this play-by-play broadcast. Third down and 5 from the Giants' 31-yard line. As play is about to be resumed, here is the pitch to Morris. The sweep to the left, cuts back to his right, and gets inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Maybe only to the 30. We'll see where they put it down. They put it right at the 30, so he got only a yard. Clock continues to move. It'll bring up a 4th down and 4 situation, and Morrill is looking over to the Dolphin bench. Garrow is still over there. They're going to go for it. Keep their hands on the ball. We're inside the minute mark now. 55 seconds left to play in this football game. 4th and 3 from the Giants' 30-yard line. Morris and Zonka, the I-backs, behind Morrill. Here's the handoff to Merck again through a hole on the right side. He may go. He's down to the 15, down to the 10, to the 5, and he's not run out of bounds till he gets down to about the 1 or the 2-yard line. Mercury Morris busted one off the right side and had a tremendous hole over there. With 37 seconds to go, the Dolphins have a 1st and goal situation down at the 2-yard line.
Rick, that's a heck of a way to control the ball and run out the clock. Get it down there now. You've got it to the point where, heck, you're so close to that goal line, you might as well go ahead and score.
Mercury unofficially has gone over the 100-yard mark. This is unofficial. We have him unofficially with 101 yards, which will be the 4th time this year, and leaves him only 92 yards shy of the 1,000-yard mark. We stress again that it is unofficial. The Dolphins with a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line with 37 seconds left to play. Here's the handoff. Merck slips, falls down, trying to make his cut in over the right side. And he might have lost a yard. Let's see where they're going to put it. Henry Reed, defensive end, fell on top of him. And they put the ball at the 3, so he did lose a yard. And it'll be second down and goal from the 3-yard line. The clock is moving with 12 seconds, 11 seconds. This could be the last play of the ball game if they get it off. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. They set in the eye. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And they do not get the play off. The Dolphins have the clock run out on them at the 3-yard line of the Giants. The final score, as Miami becomes only the 5th team in the history of the National Football League, the Dolphins win it by a 23-13 margin, shut out the Giants in the second half. That final score, 23-13.
The Dolphins were now only one game away from the NFL's first perfect 14-game season.